Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very different kind of video on this channel. Now usually I am a one game kind of guy, however when the developers of this game contacted me and asked if I would like to do a sponsored video, I couldn't say no. I played this game for 5 minutes and I was hooked. Now the game that I am talking about is Kingdom 2 Crowns, and today we're going to be covering the brand new DLC called the Norse Lands. Now, the Norse Lands is set in a domain inspired by the Norse Viking culture. Back in November, they also released the Conquest update, which is a huge update to the game. If you guys haven't played this before, now is a perfect time to jump into. So for full transparency, this is a sponsored video, and I was provided with a key for both the main game and the Norse Lands DLC. However, that being said, I enjoyed this game that much that I actually went ahead and paid for it on my phone. I downloaded it on my phone. You can actually play this on both iOS, Android, as well as Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Now, I was only provided with a key for the PC for the Steam version. I wanted to play it on my phone when I was out doing stuff this weekend, so I paid for it and downloaded it. If that doesn't say how much I enjoy this game, I don't know what does. Now, what is this game? So you can play it solo or you can play it co-op. Now, co-op can actually be played on the same PC. So when I get a minute, I'm going to try and persuade my girlfriend to play this, as I think it'd be really fun. If that is something you would like to see, drop a comment down below and I'll see if I can persuade my girlfriend to jump onto a game with me and play. I think she'll actually really enjoy this. It's a very simple game to understand, but a very hard game to master. Now, I'll explain a little bit more about that later on. So, the basic premise of this game is to build your kingdom and protect it from the greed. Before we explain what the greed is, I'm going to go over a few very basic things that I wish I knew when I first started this game. I went into this game completely blind as I didn't want any spoilers. And I'm going to tell you guys a few little things that may help you out. So starting off with the mounts. There are different types of mounts in this game. You start on the basic horse. However, you can upgrade it as you go through the game. I'm not going to give away too much, so I'm not going to tell you how you unlock the mounts or even what the types of mounts are. All I will tell you is that you can actually get different mounts. Your mounts have stamina. With the first mount, the horse that you get, when you run out of stamina, you just feed on the grass. The grass will replenish the stamina. You can tell when you've run out of stamina as you will no longer be able to run. You'll see the breath coming out of your horse's mouth. So, building the kingdom as well. The kingdom is very, very simple to start off with. You start with a campfire. You can build up the kingdom through the stages. The more the kingdom is upgraded, the more it costs to upgrade. You also need different materials later on. Again, I'm not going to go too much into that. However, if you explore, you will soon find out what I mean. There are more than one island. Oh, there is more than one island. There is 6 islands to explore. Each island has its own set of unique things you can unlock on it. And all I'm going to say is, don't Google anything. Just play the game and explore. The main currency in this game is coins and gems. Now, you'll get coins for doing pretty much most activities, and you can also find them in chests. However, gems can only be found in chests from my experience. Now, I'm not saying you can't find them anywhere else, but up to now, I've played this quite a lot, and I've only found them in chests. That doesn't mean, though, I know everything about this game. I've been playing it for a while, and I still have a lot to unlock and learn. So you can also get coins by killing squirrels and moose, or mooses, that you will find on the islands. You can actually kill things, but for the most part, you are very, very passive, and your civilians will actually do that for you. So you can recruit civilians by running around. You will find camps on each island where you can recruit civilians by dropping 1 coin. At which point, the civilian will come back to your camp, and they will pick up a weapon. So when you build your kingdom, by the default, you will have archers and builders. You don't actually buy archers. All you do is buy a bow, and then you buy a hammer for a builder. And then when you recruit a civilian, they will head back to your base, and they will pick up either the bow or the hammer, depending on what they are closest to. So rather than buying archers and builders, you just buy the tools, and the civilians choose what they want to be. We'll actually go to whatever is closest. So make sure you think about which side you're recruiting from and if you have tools available for them to collect. You'll also find statues and puzzles on islands, and the puzzles are incredibly fun to solve, and this is why I said don't Google anything, because you really don't want to spoil anything. So far, I've managed to unlock 2 weapons, and they are incredibly powerful and fun to use. And finally, the last thing that I do want to go through before jumping into this is the greed. What is the greed? Well, the greed is the enemy in this game, and they're after one thing, and that is your crown. If you lose your crown, that is it. Your reign is over. And how does that happen? Well, the greed will come at nighttime primarily. However, if you go close to one of their portals during the day, they can actually attack you during the daytime. But for the most part, they do come every single night. And you want to be careful, because the longer you're alive, the harder the waves of the greed will get, and the harder they will also become. So how do the greed get your crown? Well, if you have a coin pouch and they hit you, you will drop a coin. Sometimes you can also lose a coin in the river. If that happens, it's gone forever. There's no way of getting that coin back. It can also happen with gems, but primarily when a greed attacks you, you will drop a coin. The greed will then pick up that coin and run off. It will no longer be aggressive. However, if you don't have any coins in your coin pouch, they will hit you and gems will fall out. If you don't have any gems, that is when they hit you and your crown falls off. Now, when your crown falls off, you do have a very short period of time to grab that crown and retreat to safety. However, if the greed do grab that crown, that is it. Unfortunately, the reign is over. And if that happens, you'll have to find out what happens. It's not game over, but it is a bit of a... It's quite painful, so all I'm going to say is don't let that happen. Right, I think that's pretty much everything I want to explain before jumping into this. The most fun of this comes from exploring and doing things yourself and figuring stuff out, but now you understand a little bit about the game, let's jump into a tutorial and I'll quickly show you how to start the game. Alright, so now that I've done pretty much a base explanation on everything, let's put it all into practice. So this is Kingdom 2 Crowns. This is the base game. There are two other versions of the game as well, which I didn't even cover, which we have Shogun and we also have Deadlands. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about them. However, if you do get this game, make sure you go and check them out. They are very, very good. I'm not going to ruin anything, but just go and have a look. Anyway, let's jump into Norse Lands. If you spam down as well, you'll notice that you can change avatar, and you can choose between the female version. This guy looks like a dwarf. I don't know why. He just reminds me of a dwarf. And then I suppose the female version looks more like an elf for me. I don't know. It's just how I see it. You can see though, every time you press down or the S key, it will randomly generate a new avatar. So if you want to pick or you're fussy with what you want, I think this is perfect for me actually. A golden crown and some golden cape. Now we're going to jump into the tutorial. So as I mentioned earlier, the tutorial is very basic, but so are the controls. You only need 4 controls to play this. You will follow the ghost. Now, one thing I'm going to say is, well, I'm going to be very quiet here and just let you guys watch this. This is amazing. Now, how immersive was that? I don't know if that comes across on video, but when you're watching that in full screen, it looks fantastic. Look at the water as well. I'm ignoring the ghost right now, but look at the water. The attention to detail in this game for a side scroller. There is literally, it's so three-dimensional, especially within the forest as well. You can see all the trees that go back layers upon layers upon layers. Also, when you're inside the forest, you can't see what time of day it is, which plays out to be quite frustrating sometimes when you get later into the game, as it does help to know when the greed are coming. As I mentioned earlier, they primarily come in the evening. So we're going to run over now and continue with the tutorial. Here are the mooses that we can see on the floor. If we keep running here, the horse should run out of stamina very, very soon. So as you can see there, I can no longer run. The horse is refusing to run. You can see the steam coming out of his mouth or the breath. However, if you just stand on some grass, you will notice that he begins to eat, and then of course we can start running again. As soon as he lifts the head up, that's it, you're good to go. There are the squirrels. Again, the archers can go ahead and hunt them later on. But the first thing we need to do in the tutorial is light the fire and start building our empire. So to start off with, you will always have 2 little civilians which you can recruit from the get-go. Go ahead, buy yourself a bow and you will get an archer. Once you have the archer, we'll head over to the building store where we can buy a hammer and recruit ourselves a builder. We can stand here next to the wall, and you want to build a wall. Of course, you want to build a wall. You can't protect the kingdom without some sort of fortification. Now let's head over to the other side where I believe it is time to recruit ourselves some more civilians. As you can see, this is one of the camps that I was talking about earlier. Drop a coin and one of the recruits will now go to your base. They will spawn one at a time. I don't know the exact time frame on them. However, you can actually drop a coin here, and as long as the greed doesn't come and collect it or it doesn't despawn, by the time the civilian has spawned, it should just pick the coin up and run back to your base, which is very useful to know later on. Sort of like micro efficient for managing the base. As you can see there, we just used a coin on this tree, and our builder should head over there now and begin to chop that down. We can also buy ourselves another bowman. And that is it. That is the essentials. Or that is it. That's the tutorial. It is done. As I said, it is very, very basic. So what we're going to do now is go and have a look at what our archer has for me. 1 coin. Is that all we have? It does appear so. But if we head over here, looks like this archer is doing work on these squirrels. And he does have a few for me. So if we look here as well, when you chop down a tree, you will guarantee, well, you're guaranteed to get at least 1 coin. You may even get 2 if you're lucky enough. So it's between 1 and 2 coins. And you can chop the trees down as much as you want. As long as you keep going, you'll keep chopping the trees down. Now, one thing I will say is look at the trees next to encampments. So these camps where the civilians do spawn, if you chop the trees down surrounding it, this will despawn, which means you can no longer get civilians on this island. And it is potentially possible to clear out every single spawn encampment for them, which will put you in a very sticky situation if you do need to get yourself any more civilians later on down the line. So, as I said, I don't want to ruin too much of this game for you, but we're going to keep playing for a little bit longer, as I do want to wait and see where the merchant comes from. So the merchant should join us very, very soon. I didn't really go into too much detail, but on each side of the island, one side will have a dock on it and one side will have a cave. Those are the only 2 spawns that you will find on the first island for the Greedlands. However, the longer you play for, or the more islands you go to, you will notice that they do actually appear, or you can get portals that will spawn, and sometimes they can spawn quite close to your base as well, so keep an eye out for those. Here is the merchant. So the merchant is coming from the left-hand side on mine. When the merchant does come, by the way, you can give him 1 coin every single day, and he gives you like 8 to 10 coins in return. That's just a rough estimate. I don't know exactly how many coins it is, but I'm telling you now, it is a lot of coins, and it is very, very nice to get. You will also have a dock on each of the islands, which is where the boat will spawn. For me, the boat has spawned on the right-hand side, and all you need to do is head over to the boat and then use your coins on it, and that will start to build the boat. As long as you have builders that aren't occupied building something else, they will come over and build the boat. And then you can set sail on it and move to other islands. I think that is all I actually want to say in regards to this. As I said, I don't want to spoil anything for you. I want you guys to go through and explore this yourself. So make sure you check out Kingdom of Two Crowns today. Use my link in the description. It'll take you directly to the Steam page where you can buy both the game and the Norse Lands DLC. I promise you, I've not had this much fun playing a new game in such a long time, and I highly encourage you to check it out. As always, if you do like this video, don't forget to drop a like, drop a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite thing is about this game, or if you're going to download it at all. Take care, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.